And we're at 30 seconds. And 15. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Awesome. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our viewers who have joined us live. What a spectacular day, first of all. I wish to acknowledge here in the region that we are in, Bawatting, Sault Ste. Marie. It's a beautiful sunny day, not too hot like a couple of days ago. It was pretty hot in our region. And as I understand, really and truly right around the province. So it's a beautiful day. And as I've been taught, I will share with you a little tiny bit about me, who I am, how I've come to be in a position like this, being a part of storytelling and showcasing, being proud of who we are, just really and truly as people who are connected through song, story, dance, and other forms of art. I'm Elizabeth, Minowa Nanoshkas, Indigenous. Jajak Dodem, Boating Dada, Wakumakong Donjaba, Ishnabe Kwayan Dao. I am Elizabeth. My Ojibwe Noswin, my Ojibwe name is Nanoshkas. And in our language, translating that to English, the most simple of understandings is hummingbird. But hummingbird takes on so many beautiful teachings. And in my short or long life, depending on how you look at it, I've been given many beautiful reasons to understand what that name means. So I am your host this evening, your MC. Very honored to have been invited to share with you, introduce to you our beautiful showcase of talent this evening, our storytellers, our dancers, our singers, songwriters, people who put words to what is going on in here. And I'm very honored to indicate that I represent a long line of movers and shakers. I give acknowledgement to the people that I come from, the Ojibwe, the Odawa, and the Potawatomi, but also my mom and dad, B. Shawanda and Jim Edgar. Give thanks for the work that they did to ensure that what I share with you this evening has never been forgotten in our family. I wish to acknowledge this beautiful traditional territory that we are part of here in Sault Ste. Marie. Bawatting, as some of us have come to know, is the traditional territory and land of the Batchewanas of Ojibwe, the Kitaganzibi or Garden River Band of Ojibwe. We also have one of our largest and most historic Métis settlements here in this region. And of course, I invite any of our viewers who are wherever you are on the World Wide Web, acknowledging the traditional territory that you might be watching from, and certainly that we are here from. This month is Indigenous Awareness Month, and so I find it's very fitting, of course, for me to be here. I'm also wearing some new digs. Isn't it pretty? Hey? This is an artist in the Powell Circle that I'm a part of, who many of our young people have decided to put their art to clothing, fashion. We just had a fashion week in Toronto not too long ago, and so there's lots of our storytelling that's happening in the form of fashion now, along with the beadwork that you might see. A couple of days ago, we had Indigenous celebrations happening just down the waterfront, and really and truly right across the land, celebrating and promoting the importance of relationship building through education and awareness, through song and dance, through storytelling. And so I give acknowledgement to the land, to the people who are celebrating and wishing to find out a little bit more about who we are. I would like to also indicate that here with me, my relatives, our plant relatives, our medicine relatives, and the importance of understanding for us as Indigenous people. When we come together, when we gather, for the first time, we haven't seen each other in a while, which really and truly is the case here for us, right? As a world, we're just coming to terms with opening up again post-COVID. At least we're hoping we're post-COVID. And so gathering together, being with each other physically, and then acknowledging the beauty of technology. Most of us have had to get very familiar with it over the last couple of years during COVID, during this pandemic. And so I invite you to put your intentions together with me, our guests who are watching, to think about, coming together for the purposes and the celebration, education and awareness through song, dance, really and truly the arts. We're here this evening to do that. So I'm going to share that smudging is something that's really important to our Indigenous people. Medicines, traditional medicines, relatives, as I indicated, coming from the land. Most oftentimes, the most four common ones that are used are sage, sweetgrass, cedar, and tobacco. And so the practice of smudging, going like this with the smoke, the intentions that I invited you to join me in thinking about, that we are doing good for our heart, our mind, as we learn, as we participate together, that we keep our thoughts open as we move along this evening in our event. So the smudging, certainly, to keep my mind fresh and open, to keep my ears willing to receive, to keep my heart clean, and the words that I use to be spoken, the ones that need to be spoken. So Chimigwech for joining us this evening. Now with that, and I will be putting that out because I know some people do have allergies, so I will be taking it with me when I leave the stage momentarily. I would like to indicate you are here part of Stories Steeped in Stone, a variety series featuring 13 performances, each one showcasing a diverse lineup of talents, featuring artists and creatives from the Algoma region who find their inspiration in stories, culture, and the landscape of this area. While the theme may be steeped in stone, no two shows are alike. Audiences are treated to music, theater, storytelling, poetry and dance, performance art, and heritage demonstrations. There are so many different stories and experiences. Of course, you might want to come to the rest of them. Tonight is show number 7. And so I am very honored to introduce our first guest. She is a part of the lineup this evening as a special guest, and her name is Makayla Webkamigad. So I'm going to ask Makayla to come to the stage. Oh, yes. Thank you. Now, we actually have some audience members that are recognizable to myself and Makayla, who happens to be my daughter. Makayla is my youngest daughter, and so I'm going to do a shout out right over here. There's Shane's mom. And I think one of the things that's really cool, I was actually talking with Wendy, who has brought us into this fold, and we were talking about how being in this region for the last 26 years, actually, being able to see the movement, the evolution, the progress of things like this, where we come and share space and we talk about things and we showcase things. And I think it's awesome that it's now become very reciprocal. Really honored to have been a part of other things in the past. As we were visiting and waiting for the evening to start, we were talking about how connected we have actually been over the years living here in Sault Ste. Marie, Bawating. And so I give thanks as I introduce my daughter. I honor the lineage that I come from, my parents, and the efforts that they put forward in making sure that we didn't forget who we were as Anishinaabe people. And so Makayla is going to share with you the beauty and the importance of the poem that tells the story about our family. Home isn't home.
Ani bojo nibi ben beneshi kwa minwa kwashkeke kwa indigenous cause kwa minwa jajak dodem ukwamakong manatona missing donjaba ba tingdada Anishinaabe Koyandao. Hello everybody, my English name is Makayla Webkamigad. My Anishinaabe names translate to Dancing Bird Woman and Bear Medicine Woman. I am of the Bear and the Crane clans. I grew up here in Sault Ste. Marie, but I originally come from and belong to Wekwamakong Unceded Indian Reserve, which is located on Manitoulin Island. I'm very honored to be here. I'm very honored to be able to be the one who opens the show. I wish to share a message that is very, very close to my heart. Before I share my portion of art for the night, I wish to acknowledge my grandparents. Their lives and stories are what inspired me to combine both of my passions for awareness and written word into one. Growing up as an Indigenous child, so deeply rooted in our culture, powwows, dance, ceremony, songs, traditional knowledge, I was fortunate that my grandparents kept these things safe in a time where it was illegal to be who we were. I thank my grandparents, my parents, and the other warriors who kept our way of life safe so that this generation and the next all get to know who they are and where they came from. Without these beautiful people, these beautiful things that you will witness tonight would not be possible. Hopefully, with the message I share, I will help everyone understand just how special these things are. Because at one point, these wonderful things were almost taken away. As a granddaughter of 4 residential school and day school survivors, I believe it is so important to acknowledge the whole story that we carry as Indigenous people. And so with that, I would like to share the poem I wrote in 2019 about the story of my grandma's time in Spanish residential school, how this time forever affected her throughout her life, and how her story is my story as an Indigenous woman who is the 2nd generation out of residential school, finally understanding the ways of multi-generational trauma. My words reflect the importance of acknowledging the trauma caused by residential schools, because it is the story for us and for so many other families in our Indigenous communities, and why Debwewin, truth, is so important. I would like to present my poem entitled Home Isn't Home. Home isn't home. Home isn't home when you're stolen from it at the age of 4. A small girl, long dark hair, sun-kissed golden brown who plays with her brothers. Until then, you knew nothing but love. Home isn't home when you're taken to a cold place, filled with other small girls who once had long dark hair, were sun-kissed golden brown, and played with their brothers, the small girls who once knew nothing but love. Home isn't home when the cold place is scary, filled with mean men and women who only wear black. They treat these small girls like they don't matter and only deserve the leftover trash. The small girls who once knew nothing but love. Home isn't home when the small girl finally returns home, only to be sent away to live in a place filled with white walls, to live years in a hospital bed because the small girl had what all small girls had, with her long dark hair, sun-kissed golden brown, who once knew nothing but love. Home isn't home when the small girl grows up, living all over the world. She faces battles for all the small girls who have long dark hair and are sun-kissed golden brown. But she forgets that she once knew nothing but love. Home isn't home when the past is now present, and the small girl has her own. A small girl, long dark hair, sun-kissed golden brown, who plays with her brothers, who only wants nothing but love. Home isn't home when she finally has one. She has forgotten all of the love. Her family she created now sees what the cold place has done, and the white walls have become eggshells to walk on. Home isn't home when the rest is uneasy, when the small girls are still small, when it becomes a burden to have long dark hair and be sun-kissed golden brown. We forget that we once knew nothing but love. The first time that I read this poem out loud was at the National Building Reconciliation Forum that was held at my school at Algoma University. And just to be able to share some of the story that is so common for hundreds of Indigenous families, to share the importance of continuing to spread awareness, to continue to tell that Debwewin, that truth. I really hope that I shared enough tonight, and yeah,
Awesome.
I'll turn it back over to Mama.
So, as you can imagine, the very first time I heard my daughter recite publicly, I was a mess on the side of the at the Building Reconciliation Forum, and I actually told all my colleagues, be prepared, have Kleenex in your pocket, like guaranteed. This is it's going to choke you up. And since then, I've listened to my daughter share that story, and I'm proud of you, as always, being brave to do this when called to action. I believe it's the importance to also indicate the power of resilience and the beauty of days like Anishinaabe Day being celebrated right across the country a few days ago, that all of us are coming together for the purposes of having great relationships. And so with that, I really do believe that our young people are the change makers. They're going to remind us to keep going, those of us that are a little bit older and maybe in different kinds of jobs that might be able to help form new policy, create new policy. And with that, I call Kristin to come join me on the stage. Yes, let's give her a hand. And so, Kristin and Makayla are from that younger generation who are going to be the next leaders. They're here, they're already here. And I know in listening to Makayla, kind of set the foundation from which the rest of the evening will spring from. Now we have Kristin, who is going to be presenting to us her dance about the current. And how beautiful when you listen to where this story came from, her interpretation. How beautiful, like Makayla, when you hear about where this story came from and her interpretation. So I invite all of you to, Kristin, if you could tell us, where did this come from? It's beautiful, by the way. Just wait. It's beautiful. Yes.
So the inspiration behind my contemporary dance piece is the waterways that connect the Sault Ste. Marie. So we have Lake Superior, its beauty, its power, it's everything you could ever think of, connecting into the rapids, into the St. Mary's River. And I actually grew up on the St. Mary's River. My family home was there. And my family camp in Batchewana Bay. So feeling those waters, feeling their energy just really carried my life. You know what I mean? So that's what inspired this piece. And I hope you enjoy it.
Awesome. Miigwech, we invite you to enjoy with us. Woohoo. Amazing, eh? Amazing, for sure. Absolutely beautiful work, young ladies. You definitely make me proud to know that this is our next generation of storytellers through song, dance, the written word. Next comes one of my good friends. Theresa Binda is bringing the heartbeat of the land.
Bonjour. Makayla wabshkenigig asewak. Wawashkesh dodem. So what I'm saying is my spirit name is Black Otter, White Otter, Spirit Woman. And my English name is Theresa Binda. So miigwech, Liz, and other performers. Amazing work, everyone. I like to, when I share my drum, I always think about like my grandfather, because he's, gone to residential school, my grandmother, aunts, uncles, my mother. So I honor them. And I also remember a great grandmother who I've never met, that held our ceremonies where they had to go into the woods to do all ceremony in secret. So I like to honor them as well, and miigwech, for keeping it alive. The first song I would like to do it's a water song, also known as the Swirling River, because give thanks for water. Water is life, and as a woman, a kwe, life giver. So to miigwech to the water. Wishita do ya, wishita do ya, hey. Wishita do ya, wishita do ya, hey. Wishatanaya, hey, hey, wishatanaya, hey, hey. Wishatanaya, hey, hey. Wishatanaya, hey, hey. Wishata do ya, wishata do ya, hey. Wishata do ya, wishata do ya, hey. Wishatanaya, hey, hey. Wishatanaya, hey, hey. Wishatanaya, hey, hey. Wishatanaya, hey, hey. Wishata do ya, wishata do ya, hey. Wishata do ya, wishata do ya, hey. Wishatanaya, hey, hey. Wishatanaya, hey, hey. Wishatanaya, hey, hey. Wishatanaya, hey, hey. Wishata do ya, wishata do ya, hey. Wishata do ya, wishata do ya, hey. Wishatanea, hey ya, hey ya. Wishatanea, hey ya, hey. Wishatanea, hey ya, hey ya. Wishatanea, hey ya, hey. So miigwech. If you can almost picture yourself going down, like in a canoe down a river, and where the water is calm, that's why the drum is played a little softly. And then when it gets a little louder, it's like you're moving into the rapids, and that's what the song kind of represents. And it also represents our life, you know, how we're going through good times and fun times, and then we also go through troubles in our lives. So, and always remind ourselves to not to stay stuck in the rapids. So, good advice. And our drum, you know, represents the heartbeat of Mother Earth, and heartbeat of all living things. And it's the vibration that it goes out into the universe, and it brings healing, you know, to our people and to all people and all living things. So I'd like to share a song now called the Makayla Honor Song, Eagle Honor Song. Way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey. Way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey. Make us say, Ginondoa, make us say, Ginondoa, 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 make us say, Ginondoa. Way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey. Way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey. Make us say, Giwabma, make us say, Giwabma, 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 make us say, Giwabma. Way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey. Way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey. Make us say, Git Kona, make us say, Git Kona, Git Kona, Git Kona, make us say, Git Kona. Way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey. Way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey. Make us say, Konnichiwa, make us say, Konnichiwa, 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 make us say, Konnichiwa. Way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey. Way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey, way-ah, hey. Miigwech. So in the song, what we are saying is, Eagle, I hear you. Eagle, I see you. Eagle, I honor you, and I will go with you. So miigwech for that. I'm also thinking about the Sacred Fire song, because our fire keepers, you know, keep our fires strong, and for our prayers, you know, for offerings, for healing of our people. And so the song that I will do next is the Sacred Fire, and I honor the men, and also fire keepers, and a good friend that enjoys the sacred fire song. Fire, sacred fire, burning through the night, come to me in my dream time, bring me visions of light, circle round, spiral down to this heart open wide, healing light, burning bright, dry these tears that I cry. Way ah, hey ah, way ah, hey hey ah, way ah, hey ah, way ah, hey hey ah. Fire, sacred fire, burning through the night, come to me in my dream time, bring me visions of light, circle round, spiral down to this heart open wide, healing light, burning bright, dry these tears that I cry. Way ah, hey ah, way ah, hey hey ah, way ah, hey ah, way ah, hey hey ah. Fire, sacred fire, burning through the night, come to me in my dream time, bring me visions of light, circle round, spiral down to this heart open wide, healing light, burning bright, dry these tears that I cry. Way ah, hey ah, way ah, hey hey ah, way ah, hey ah, way ah, hey hey ah. Fire, sacred fire, burning through the night, come to me in my dream time, bring me visions of light, circle round, spiral down to this heart open wide, healing light, burning bright, dry these tears that I cry. Way ah, hey ah, way ah, hey hey ah, way ah, hey ah, way ah, hey hey ah. Thank you. So a little bit about the drum too. It's made out of deer hide, or it can also be moose or elk or buffalo hide. So we give thanks to the animal, for the skins that they provide, and it's in their spirit that helps us with our songs, our healing songs for everyone. And also what we call the standing tall ones, the trees for the the hoops that is made with the drum. We also don't always use a drum. We'll have a rattle or a shaker, and this is made out of deer bone, an actual deer, from the deer hoof, deer toes. So, and this one here, I will do another song. It's song Ojibwe prayer. So we're asking Creator, the Great Spirit, so that we can walk in a good way and help us. So here we go. And miigwech. Way ah, ho, way, oh hey, oh hey. Way, oh, way, oh hey. Way, oh hey, oh hey. Nada wishin gisemaneto. Bemoseanish nabe. Bemadise hey win. Nada wishin gisemaneto. Bemoseanish nabe. Bemadise hey win. Way, ho, way, oh, hey, oh, hey. Way, ho, way, oh, hey, way, oh, hey, oh, hey. Nada wishin gisemaneto. Bemoseanish nabe. Bemadise hey win. Nada wishin gisemaneto. Bemoseanish nabe. Bemadise hey win. Way, ho, way, oh hey, oh hey. Way, ho, way, oh hey, way, oh hey, oh hey. Oh, miigwech creator.
To miigwech.
Oh, miigwech.
Very nice to hear you sing. I have had the honor and really privilege of being alongside Theresa many years. At one point, she was my instructor, my prof at Algoma, and we see each other every now and again in the community. Usually, it's through something like this. So, miigwech for sharing those beautiful songs with us. One of the things that is so sacred that accompanies our songs like this is our dance. And so I say miigwech to you, Theresa, for sharing those beautiful words with us. I invite you to be excited. We've got our next guest that's coming, and I hear her. Yes. And I also indicate certainly, yes, there may be a few of you who might want to actually get your camera. I'm not sure what the rules are, but I know that for some of us, sometimes capturing a picture, along with being mindful of what we see and hear and feel, is so very important. And so I would like to invite my two friends, a sister, really and truly, as we were visiting and doing rehearsals and getting ready for tonight, we actually realized that we're connected, that in my growing up experience and in Tracie's growing up experience, that we were connected. In the visiting that I did with Kristin in the back, we realized we were connected. My powwow niece, Nevaeh, we are connected. And as a result, this evening, sharing space and time with you, we are connected. And so I'm going to invite Tracie and Nevaeh to come and share with us about spiritual armor.
We have been undressing for too long. It is time to put our clothes back on. It is time to go back home. Take the water that flows and the lakes and bring them back in here within your spirit. The fish in the water, the insects, the animals, the birds that fly and those that do not, and bring those too back within you. The trees and rocks, the land and sky, the clouds, the winds, the air, the stars, and bring these too back within you where they rightfully belong. Take the spoken word in every language there is on this earth. This too belongs within you. Then and only then will you be home, and you will be fully dressed. And when the knock comes to your door, you will be there to open it. Each foot will know exactly where to fall.
Absolutely amazing, right? Here I am ready to use this. It's not for me, it's for them. I'm going to give you a moment to breathe. But one of the things that we would like to share with you this evening, that song actually was what we would call an honor song. It is sung at a particular time when we gather, usually in ceremony, sometimes at powwows. For those of you who have ever been to a cultural event known as a powwow, you might actually hear the MC, the Master of Ceremonies, talk about a reason why somebody needs to be honored. And so honorings usually are created with songs, with intention, with beautiful spirit meant in mind. And so I'm going to invite Tracie to share with you where this song came from, how it came to be, and for also, to understand that permission was given for us to share it here. We're not in ceremony, but kind of we sort of are, because we smudged and we are on the same level in terms of understanding why we're here this evening for the purposes of song, dance, storytelling. And then also, I would ask you if you think you might have a question, and in particular for our young lady, Nevaeh, she's more than willing to also take the mic. So, miigwech, Tracie.
Miigwech. Bonjour, Anine. Nandino Maganadag. Bonjour, Ginoea. Miskwanam ki benasi kwe. Indishnakaz. Gitagan zubi. Bawating. Meanwa iu ishchin dunjaba. Achajak and Dodam. Hello, everyone. My spirit name is Red Thunderbird Woman. My English name is Tracie, and I grew up between Garden River, Sault Ste. Marie, and Moose Factory, which is Cree territory up in James Bay. I'm very honored to be here, and this has been a really blessing. I guess I'll share a little bit about our performance here. In our culture, we are taught by our elders through oral tradition and stories that are passed down from generation to generation. And so our performance here tonight was actually inspired by a post on social media. And this particular post was very special to both of us. This particular post was shared, and it was an excerpt from the late Dan Pine Sr. Dan Pine Sr. is my grandfather, and he is Nevaeh's great-grandfather. And so in the post, the excerpt, that's what you heard in the beginning of the film. We have been undressing for too long. It is time to put our clothes back on. It is time to come back home. And so I was inspired by those words that were spoken by my grandfather and by Nevaeh's great-grandfather. And that was the inspiration for our performance this evening. We also wanted to create awareness, given the theme of National Indigenous Month, and also this week being National Indigenous Peoples Day. And it's an issue that is very close, hits home, and it's very close to many people's hearts, many families, many communities. And that is missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit. And so the later part, when we started dancing, the song is called MMIW. And it's a song that was sung and drummed by the Hanisha singers. Teddy Kopanens is one of the drummers and singers in the group, and that song came to him. It came to him as a dream of a girl who was in distress, and she was asking for his help, but in his dream he was unable to help her. He woke up very emotional. He was crying. He was very distressed about that dream. And so his wife told him to go outside and make a fire and offer your sema, your tobacco. And so that's what he did. He went outside, he made his fire, And while he was standing tending his fire, he heard a voice in the wind, Ogamakwe. And so as he was tending the fire, he offered his sema, his tobacco. And right after he offered his tobacco, he heard the wind again rustling in the leaves were rustling behind him, and they sounded like the jingles of a jingle dress. And he heard a voice say, Ogichidakwe was the one that you were dreaming of. And so those are it's a very powerful and very emotional story. And I had contacted him and asked for his permission to use the song, and also asked the permission of Wilfred Peltier, who wrote Dan Pine's words down. His daughter actually had shared that post, so I had talked to them, and she shared a little bit about Wilfred. Him and Dan were friends back decades ago, and when they would often travel from on the north shore of Lake Huron here, coming through Garden River, they would stop by often and visit Dan. So in one of those visits, Wilfred had wrote down the words of the late Dan Pine Sr. And so very special to both of us. We were very honored to share those words from our ancestor, and also to honor our sisters and the families, and for the continued healing of our communities. And on that note, my cousin Nevaeh here, it's been amazing watching her grow up over the years, and she's been an advocate for MMIW for a number of years at such a young age. I'm so very proud of her and very honored to be here on stage dancing and performing with her. So on that note, my cousin Nevaeh.
Anin Ozawa Memingwas Namid Kwe Nidishna cause Jajak Nidodam Kitagonzi B Donjaba. My name is Nevaeh Pine. My Ojibwe name is Yellow Butterfly Dancer Woman. I am of the Crane Clan, and I am from Garden River First Nation. I am here today in my regalia. I am a jingle dress dancer. The jingle dress is a healing dress. It is a medicine dance. When we dance, we hold our tobacco and we send our prayers to Creator. Our jingles help our prayers to be heard. It's an honor to be here today. Chimigwech.
Yeah. So, we have reached the end of our time together. And it's always amazing to me how quickly time passes. You know, when we sit down and we start to interact and visit and listen and watch, experience and feel, and next thing you know, it's time to go our separate ways. We really, truly hope, and I'm going to invite the rest of my guests this evening up on stage with me, Tracie and Nevaeh. I'll wait for you to come up here. Thanks, ladies. Yeah, we really hope that in one way or another, any dance, song, story, interpretation of someone's experience has touched you. We are so thankful for the guests that joined us through our live stream. We are thankful for the guests to be able to gather in person again. I know for me, does my heart good. And so I wish to acknowledge and thank our sponsors that have allowed for this to happen. Stories Steeped in Stone is brought to you by the partnership of Friends of Ermatinger Clergue National Historic Site and Theatre in Motion. We are grateful, of course, for the funding from Canadian Heritage, which has allowed this portion of the series to come to life. Remember, I said this is number 7. We still got a couple more to go. The next Stories Steeped in Stone episode will be happening same time here, same place, on July 14th, and we'll be featuring my friend, Michael Birch, and a new friend I just met, Annie King. And so from all of our beautiful presenters, storytellers, ones that share in song and word. We say Chimigwach for joining us this evening. Chimigwach to our audience who's watching through YouTube, and Chimigwach to the people that helped bring us here. I know every single one of us talked about someone that influenced or impacted or kind of guided us to the work that we do. Our ancestors, all of our ancestors are important. The people we come from, our parents, they're important. Grandparents, they're important. And certainly the people here as we present today were important. I like to think that what we do today impacts the next 7 generations. And so if we're doing things like this that allow for relationship building, nation building, creating space for continued storytelling through a variety of arts, we're doing a good thing. Chimigwach, from all of us up here, I invite you to help me celebrate all of these people. And I believe they're going to turn the lights on, and our guests are more than willing to take a selfie with you if you like, have a conversation with you if you would like to ask a question. They're going to mix and mingle and hang around for a bit. So Chimigwach for joining us this evening.